There has been a lot of talk recently about the Netflix Marvel shows, all the Defender stuff, whether it's Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Punisher, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, whatever. Because, as you know, now in the MCU, we've got Charlie Cox playing Matt Murdock, and we've got Vincent D'Onofrio playing Kingpin, and it's all there. So a lot of people are wondering more and more about what is going to be the future of these things. Now, we heard a little while ago that Netflix was going to be pulling those Marvel shows off the service. And a lot of us said, well, I guess we can assume that at some point they're going to end up on Disney Plus. Well, assume no longer. Netflix's Marvel shows are coming to Disney Plus in Canada. Yeah. In Canada. This comes to us from the folks over at Screen Rant who write the following. Netflix's former Marvel shows like Daredevil and Jessica Jones are officially releasing on Disney Plus in March. Marvel Studios has expanded the Marvel Cinematic Universe to the small screen over the last year thanks to Disney's streaming service. While WandaVision became the first official MCU show, Marvel TV previously made multiple live-action shows for Netflix that took a street-level approach and more adult tone to the superheroes. While these shows were quite successful, they were all suddenly canceled out in 2018, and now we know, and they are coming, I believe, in March. They're being brought over to Disney Plus in Canada. Now, I say Canada because the official announcement came from Disney Plus Canada and said that. So we can't assume they're going to be coming to a Disney platform in the US here. The question is going to be which platform. All right. Will it be on Disney Plus proper? Or will it be in its bundled sister site, Hulu? And that's the question they have right now. To me, I think the answer is clear. I think these are going to end up on Hulu. I don't think Disney wants to have... Now, granted, Big Papa Iger isn't there anymore. And Iger was always the guy saying, we're going to make sure that Disney Plus is going to be family appropriate, that a parent won't have to worry about their kid turning on Disney Plus. But now we've got, let's not talk about him, unemployed Uncle Chapek is running things. And who knows what he's going to do at this point. But I think it seems to stand to reason that on Hulu is the place it's ultimately going to live. I wouldn't be surprised if we found out by the end of the day, if we get an official announcement, now that they're announcing the Canadian release. Anyway, Rob, you hear about this. Number one, he's surprised by the move because I think we're kind of expecting about this. And where do you think ultimately shows like Daredevil and Punisher and Jessica Jones will end up? Will Disney Plus create maybe a behind-a-wall adult section of Disney Plus, or will they just go with Hulu?
I think Disney Plus at some point is going to have to create some kind of a wall for. It'll be part of Disney Plus, but that kids can't get into. Call it, parental lockout.
Disney Plus After Dark.
Yes, it'll be something like that. Or because they're going to have to. And look, even if I was running Disney Plus, I love Jessica Jones, and she has a sex scene with Mike Coulter, one of the most magnificent men who's ever walked the planet. But I don't think an 8-year-old should necessarily be seeing that. And if you're a Marvel fan, that's one of the things about Marvel movies is they're fairly family friendly. 4-quadrant movies. The Netflix shows have adult content, even the fight scenes in Daredevil. And dude, I watched the mad exploitation movies when I was a kid. If I was a father to a son, I would never let him watch the things that I watched when I was young.
Right.
There's no way.
For sure.
There's no way. I mean, it's things like Thriller, A Cruel Picture. My mom walked in on me watching I Spit on Your Grave once, and that didn't go well. She's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Oh, Mom, it's a horror movie." And she's like, she walked away. But
she didn't turn it off. She just walked out.
She couldn't. She didn't. It blew her mind. She's like, it's a rape revenge film. It's not for kids. I was watching it. I was probably 12. It wasn't good. I mean, it was cool when I was 12, but it wasn't good with my mom. So I think it's important that Disney. I think it's going to be on Disney Plus, but behind a paywall, or a parental wall.
A parental wall.
Yeah.
Speaking of Disney
Pull
Plus,
your mic a little closer there.
Speaking of Disney Plus, SRU Jan just reminded me, Free Guy is out today, baby.
Right. Free
About
Guy
to watch that after work.
I'm excited to watch that movie again, actually. But you brought up the Mike Coulter
Kristen
Ritter's sex scene they had in that. I remember because I think that might have been the first time we saw a sex scene between two invincible, superpowered, whatever. And I just remember like they're going at it and they're damaging the walls and all that kind of stuff. Then they did something kind of similar to that in
That's a
Boys.
Sunday
The Boys.
What's that?
Yeah, that's a Sunday for me.
Oh yeah, that's just
No, but The Boys.
But no, then the Boys did something similar, only they amped up even more destruction. You're right. I don't know how they do that on a
And
Disney
then recently
Plus.
in Peacemaker,
Did they
John
do-
Cena.
That
with
first episode.
The first episode of Peacemaker, John Cena
that's
has
right.
with,
Yeah,
the,
but
with
he's
the butterfly.
He's not a superpowered being though.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
think he's super powerful.
I mean, yeah.
hunka, burning man. Come
True.
on now.
I mean, he definitely has powers that the average man does not. Speaking of which,
I'll give him that.
Tom told me that John Cena would never date me. I
That's
was
a
really
terrible
offended.
thing. That
Yeah.
might be defensive.
He was
thing.
like, John Cena would never date you. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he goes, I mean, he'd think you're hot, but you're way too mean. He would never put up with your
He doesn't have to date you. You founded
You're
J
way
Date. You
too
can get
mean.
whatever date you want.
That's true. I found a J date.
That's
All
right.
On to back to the topic.
Well, I mean, actually, let's go over to you on this because you see this. Where do you think, now that we know the Netflix stuff is coming, Canada is getting on Disney Plus, so it's going to be coming to the Disney platform for sure. Disney Plus or Hulu, where do you put it?
Disney Plus After Dark, man. I think that's the way. I mean, remember Nick at Night? I mean, even though Nick at Night was not necessarily showing Jessica Jones sex scenes, it was. I do think that there's going to be some sort of veer off to the right for parents who want to be able to watch these more adult themed programs that are still in the Marvel universe. And I want to see them all in one place. I don't want to have to go hunting through various streaming services to figure out where they are. They're all going to, I want them to be parked in one location. And as a parent, I want to be able to go, all right, we're going to be able to put the kid in front of the television and have, him watching Disney once we start allowing screens and not worry that all of a sudden a pair of boobs are going to pop up or someone's going to be get beheaded all of a sudden. Until he's 12, of course, and then
Until he's 12.
and then it'll be completely appropriate programming.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I like
Uncle Bob will hook him up.
Yeah, you will. I like the idea of a Disney Plus After Dark that just allows parents the ability to watch all of their favorite Marvel and Disney projects that are geared towards a more sadistic audience.
Because
adult.
There are in international markets. There are markets where they have Disney Plus that then have a section to it that will contain that stuff. See, in North America, at least in the United States, it's different. They have Hulu for that stuff. So,
but
I don't
why
know,
in Canada does Canada not have Hulu?
No. Hulu is not in Canada.
Canadians are more mature than we are.
Right, but that's the thing is, are they not? Is Disney Plus not concerned about little 8-year-old Canadian kids watching?
But I don't know if it's in Canada, if it's the same as it is in some of the other markets, where maybe in Canada they have like a Star section that is locked off, a Disney Plus After Dark, like you're suggesting. So I don't know if they'll implement that in the US or not. But if they don't make a change, I would say it needs to go to Hulu. I mean, I think that's where it just makes the most sense for it to line up, but we'll see. Question is for you guys. What do you think about this? If you're in charge over there, over at Disney, and you're about to get the Netflix Marvel stuff, where do you put it? Do you put it on Disney Plus and kind of risk the relationship with the families, but you're trying to expand? Or do you put onto Hulu, which is another platform you got that does have a lot of adult, more stuff like that? What do you guys do? Whatever you think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.